Well, thank you for staying with us on the KDPG Sunday edition. I'm Stacy Smith, and a roll back of the clock a bit to 1996. A group of Pittsburgh residents looked at the city's park system, and they did not like what they saw. Pittsburgh's historic parks were in a sorry state, with many trails, buildings, and other amenities looking dilapidated. Those citizens started the Pittsburgh Parks Conservancy, a nonprofit group devoted to restoring the city's parks. In the last 2 decades, the Conservancy has raised more than $110 million to spruce up the Pittsburgh public spaces. But the group says there is still more work that needs to be done. And to do that work, the Conservancy has filed a petition for a ballot question. That question will ask voters in the city to raise their property taxes in order to fund improvements to the parks. Well, this morning we are joined by the woman in charge of the Parks Conservancy, Jane Miller. She became the president and CEO of the group in February of last year after serving as superintendent of the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. Jane Miller, thank you for joining us this morning on the KDPG Sunday edition. Joe Smito is here as well. A tax increase? I mean, that doesn't necessarily sound good.
No, but when we look at the condition of our parks and the amount of spending, per capita spending here in Pittsburgh, and the decades of lack of investment, there's a significant need in our park system. We know that there's a $400 million capital backlog in our system, and that on an annual basis we're short $13 million a year just to maintain the system we have.
Well, you say that the lack of money going into the parks and everything, but when the Conservancy was first started, it was estimated at $62 million, and now you're looking at $400 million. What has happened in that time period?
You know, great question. In terms of the original role of the Conservancy, it was the agreement the city originally had with the city in 1998 in the Conservancy was for the Conservancy to be involved in the 4 regional parks at the time: Frick, Highland, Shenley, and Riverview Park. And subsequent to the original relationship with the city, Emerald View Park became a regional park. My assumption is, and I don't know that for sure, that the assessment was based on the regional park needs. We're looking at all 165 parks in the park system, because the Conservancy's role up until 2011 was only as part of the regional parks. It wasn't involved in the entire system.
Well, the network may have grown, but also, I mean, the city spent a considerable number of years under financial oversight, you know, was financially distressed. All sorts of capital projects were deferred during that period. I assume the parks were
absolutely
neglected too.
So I think it's a combination of both. My assumption is the $62 million you're referring to was for the regional parks only, but there are 165 parks in the system. So a combination of 40, 50 years of underfunding and assets not being able to be taken care of, plus lack of funding to take care of the annual maintenance that's needed as well.
Well, instead of a tax increase, why don't you go after RAD funding?
So RAD funding, great question, and that comes up often. RAD was created, as you know, looking at the regional assets in the Allegheny County region. The regional assets are things that draw people to this region. The regional parks are the regional assets. Neighborhood and community parks are smaller parks that are embedded in neighborhoods and aren't considered regional assets, and I would argue really are truly small neighborhood parks. They're not intended to draw people in. And so the RAD funding can only be used in the regional parks. And parks have to be a minimum of 200 acres in order to receive RAD funding. So that's only the regional parks. But let's play that argument out a little bit. Let's say the decision is to fund all of the parks with RAD funding. It is a set dollar amount. It doesn't increase based on the number of parks that you have. For example, when we only had 4 regional parks, the same amount of money that was allocated to those parks now is allocated to 5 regional parks. So the money just gets spread out more broadly. It's not that there are more resources to take care of all of those parks.
All right, the question also then, because the amount of the tax increase, you're talking about $500,000, is that correct? 0.5.
0.5 mil, which would generate just shy of $10 million a year. So let's take the gap in funding we have today. We know that at a minimum we have a $13 million shortfall annually for maintenance. If we take the $400 million minimum capital backlog and say we're going to try to address that over 20 years, that means that we need at least $20 million a year to take care of the capital backlog. You add the $20 million a year for capital backlog plus the $13 million short for maintenance, that's $33 million a year the system needs. So even if we're able to raise property taxes to contribute to that backlog, we're still only talking 10 million of the 33 million that's needed annually. The other piece of the puzzle here is that I'm working with the philanthropic community and have an ask to them to fund for the first 10 years, 10 million a year to contribute, that if the referendum passes, my hope is that we can get additional funding from them to leverage the referendum dollars to bring more philanthropic money in to actually address the issues that much more quickly.
What about the person, though, who lives in the city of Pittsburgh? You're asking them now on a $100,000 home to pay $50 more a year.
Correct.
Basically, the average median home price in Pittsburgh is around $150,000, so you're looking at $75 more
Right.
a year in taxes.
Right.
While that may not seem like a lot, we do have an older population. A lot of people are on fixed income. $75 is $75.
Yes, but it's $75 over the course of the year. So for a $50 a year, what do you pay for Netflix? What do people pay for other amenities in their system, in the city, to have a gym membership? This is less expensive than those activities, and the benefits to this community are significant. Parks address economic development. They help drive property values in cities. In fact, the most valuable any city is property adjacent to a park. It addresses environmental issues. We have some of the worst air quality in the country here in Pittsburgh. We have some of the worst water quality. With park investments through green infrastructure, tree plantings, we can help address those. And in fact, I can tell you in Minneapolis, because of the tree canopy in Minneapolis, the average homeowner saves $100 a year on their electric bill. So you make an investment in parks and you gain benefits personally by increased property value. You also save on energy and quality issues. Think about your childhood and the time you spent in parks and how important that was for you as a kid. And think about the legacy that you will be leaving for your kids and your grandchildren to have a safe place to go, to learn to grow, learn leadership skills, learn conflict resolution skills, be healthy and more active.
Well, there are any number of ways you can promote this to the taxpayers, but I mean, what about, this is a city of neighborhoods, so I mean, if it is, then you need to invest in the neighborhoods.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, there's research over and over that demonstrates the incredible value of parks in neighborhoods, building stronger neighborhoods, stronger communities, reducing crime, addressing equity issues in cities. And so parks are at the heart of, and today cities who are competing for the best and brightest recognize the value of quality of life in green space that is critical to draw young professionals, young workers, and promote the economy.
But going back to Stacy's question, I mean, taxpayers in Pittsburgh already pay a dedicated tax to the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Some other group can come along and ask for a dedicated tax too. At what point are people just tapped out?
That's a really great question, and my position on all this is that parks are incredibly valuable in a city in so many ways. And let the voters decide if they want to tax themselves extra. And you're right, at what point is enough enough? And my position is parks are very critical, and I think most people really understand the value of parks. Let the citizens of this community decide if they want to make these improvements in parks. What I can tell you, through over 128 meetings we had across the city where we touched over 10,000 residents in the city of Pittsburgh from December to April, 95% of the residents said yes, parks need more money, and 65% said they need a lot more money.
Well, let's just say the tax goes through. Mm-hmm. How is it going to be adjudicated? Who's going to run this thing?
Great question. So, as you mentioned at the start of this show, that the Conservancy and the city have been in a partnership for over 23 years. That partnership spells out where we raise money for capital projects, we do maintenance activities, we do programming, we manage some amenities in the city, such as the Frick Environmental, Shenley Plaza. That will continue, and that relationship will be expanded, and there will be a clear delineation and agreement with the city that will expand our current agreement about what the Conservancy's role will be and what the city's role. In addition to that, we're a nonprofit. Public space is absolutely critical that it remains as public space, parkland. And so there will be a governance board that's made up of elected officials, citizens, members of the Conservancy that provide the governance that is essential, reporting relationships back to City Council and the mayor, and public accountability for those resources.
So basically the city's going to run it in a way.
The city and the Conservancy will have, hope in the long run, will have an agreement for both the city and the Conservancy to continue the work that we both do together.
Will they have more seats on the board, i.e.,
The city-
meaning at some point the city needs more money and they're going to say, well, out of that park.
Well, actually, this park tax is very specific, can only be used for parks. It's very specific what this tax can be used for. The city cannot take it and use it for roads or use it for other activities in the city. It can only be used for the city parks.
Do you have the mayor's support for this, the council's support?
We have the mayor's support. We are keeping council members informed. I think council members are paying attention to their constituents. And again, I think the position is these are very valuable assets that are owned by the residents, and it is up to them to decide whether they want more investment in those assets.
Jane Miller, thank you so much for being with us this morning on the KDPG Sunday Edition.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Joe.
We'll be back in just a moment when the KDPG Sunday Edition continues.